How's everybody doing? Welcome to the channel. I got called out to this 2015 Chevy Volt. Custom concern is that the EV battery or the hybrid battery is not charging, and they said that the engine light came on. So I'm here to conduct a high voltage battery diagnostic and see what's going on or what's preventing it from charging. So let's get to it. All right, so we're here inside the vehicle. So this is what it says on the dashboard. Let's see, well, the mill light is on, which is on this corner. And let's do a diagnostic and see what we can find. Here's a Chevrolet standalone. All right, so we're just going to do an auto scan, see what's out there. All right, so the engine control module, we got a history code. It says P1E00. Okay, so the hybrid powertrain control module 2 requested the mill illumination. So let's go see what that's all about. Okay, so we got code P0AA6, hybrid EV battery voltage system isolation lost. P1FFF, system isolation coolant level sensor fault, hybrid EV battery charging. So that's primarily what we're going to focus on, these two codes. So let's go ahead and save this report. Report to cloud. Let's see. And we'll just save it like that for now. Okay, close. All right, so let's go into the powertrain module here, the hybrid. Let's see what we have. Let's take a look at live data. Okay. Let's take a look. Let's see. There's hybrid pack. All right, so let's go into powertrain control module 2. Let's see what we have here. Warm-ups, distance, ambient temperature, ignition signal, high voltage interlock circuit energized, high voltage system interlock. All right, let's see, isolation resistance. Okay, now what I do know about this resistance test, it's supposed to, I believe, minimum threshold is supposed to be 275 kilo ohms, and we're going to verify that with manufacturer specifications. And let's see, high voltage isolation test status complete, battery charging system motor isolation test status pass, hybrid EV battery pack active isolation test status failed. Okay, I'm sure it failed because the resistance on that battery pack minimum, I believe, is supposed to be 275 kilo ohms, and we'll, like I said, we'll verify that. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna just leave the scan tool here. What I am gonna do is get manufacturer information real quick, and then we'll take a look and see what's the criteria for those codes, and see what step we're gonna take. All right, so let's see if there's any technical service bulletins out there on this. Battery management system. Will not charge. This is where we're at. Okay, vehicle will not charge and hybrid loss of isolation with DTC P0AA6 and or P1FF, which is where we're at. This TSB applies to the Chevy Volt, Cadillac ELR, Ampera, and Holden Volt. 2011 to 2015, 1.4 liter. Okay, so that's us. Let's see here. Some customers may comment that their vehicle will not charge. Customers may also comment that check engine lamp is illuminated. Technicians may find code P0AA6. Cause. The cause of the condition may be a loss of hybrid EV battery pack coolant, external or internal to the hybrid EV battery pack. 2. A loss of high voltage isolation within the battery cells or battery sections themselves. See correction. Locate the isolation test resistance that is located in the HPCM2 data list under HPCM. Hybrid, okay. Current value on the repair order, isolation. Okay, resistance from the freeze frame records, HPCM. Got it. Let's see. Battery pack coolant level by doing the following. Okay. Note if the coolant level is low in the underhood reservoir. Remove the drain plug for the battery to see if any water coolant drains out, indicating coolant leak in the battery pack. Okay. Let's see here. All PA 06 failures must include inspection of the hybrid EV battery pack drain plug located on the battery tray, regardless of fluid level at the hybrid EV pack coolant reservoir. Okay, so we're going to check the coolant reservoir for the hybrid system, and then also check to see if there's any moisture found on the drain plug inspection. Okay, it says here if coolant level in the reservoir is at the proper level and there is no coolant or water drain from the battery from the drain plug inspection, program the HPCM2 Kilo 11 for Bravo and the BECM Kilo 16 with the latest calibration. Alright, so pretty much if the coolant reservoir is where it needs to be, so pretty much if the coolant level is where it needs to be and there's no water or moisture coming out of the drain plug from the battery pack, pretty much what it comes down to is getting the HPCM2 K114B and the BCM K16. It needs to get recalibrated, or pretty much reprogrammed with the latest software. So alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at the coolant reservoir level, and also take a look at the drain plug and see if there's any coolant leaking from there. Also want to look at the data. No, actually we already saw the data, and on the battery, see it says here, if you have any moisture that is found in the battery during the drain plug inspection, or the isolation test resistance will not go above 275 kilo ohms after the HPCM2 and EBCM have been updated, contact tech assistance. So pretty much this is what they're looking at. The computer's looking at 275 kilo ohms. So if there's no, if the fluid is where it needs to be and there's no moisture coming out of the drain plug, and we have to reprogram the HPCM2 and the BECM. And after that gets done, if it's still not at 275 kilo ohms or higher, then most likely it's going to need a new battery pack. Well, let's start our diagnosis and let's take a look underneath the hood and see what's the level of the coolant on the reservoir. Let's go take a look at that. All right, So this is the coolant reservoir for the motor. Let's see, and what we're looking at is this. This is a coolant reservoir for the EV system. It's got its tamper-proof cap on it. As you can see, the reservoir definitely is where it needs to be. So it doesn't appear to be low on coolant. Let's see. There's a sensor over here. Alright, so that's fine. Now let's take a look at the drain plug underneath the battery pack. Alright, so we already checked the reservoir for the high voltage battery, and the fluid is where it needs to be. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go underneath the battery pack and take a look at the drain plug, and we're going to open it and see if there's any moisture or fluid coming out of it. And on this vehicle, there's a 2015, which applies from 2011 2015. The drain plug is located on the rear, underneath the passenger side. So let's go underneath and take a look at it. All right, so that's this bad boy here, covered with all this gunk. So we're just gonna move it. Let me put some light underneath here. Here's the plug. I'm trying to just move it nice and gently so we can put this adhesive back in place. Alright, so here's the plug, and I don't see any moisture, nothing draining out. Yeah, I don't see absolutely nothing here. So if there was any moisture here, it would drip or it would drain out, but I don't see anything in there. I'm gonna do is get a paper towel and then put it in there and see if anything comes up. Let's take a look at that. Alright, so I'll grab me a napkin. I'm just gonna shove it in there and see if there's any moisture that comes out. Let me see. Well, the napkin is bone dry. See a different angle. Nope, I don't see anything. So definitely not leaking. So let's put this back on it. Let's push it all the way in. Now we'll put this sealant back in there and it'll grab. Just gotta apply pressure. Alright, let's go back topside. Alright, so now I'm back. So we checked the coolant level on the EV battery cooling system, and it's fine. We checked the drain plug, there's no moisture or coolant coming out. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into live data on the hybrid powertrain control module 2. And one other thing that I did mention on the manufacturer's procedures, and also some of the items to check, if the coolant level sensor, which is a switch, If that's defective or not reporting properly, or it's reporting that it's out of coolant or extremely low on coolant, it's going to cause this code to come up as well. So we're going to go into the temperature section. So let's go in here, take a look. And we're going to look for the coolant level sensor. Let's see here. Coolant pump bypass. Electronics. Here we go. Hybrid EV battery pack coolant level switch. And it's at 3.55 volts. So the higher the voltage, the fuller it is. And that's what it's sending to the hybrid power control module too. So if it's low on coolant, the voltage will be lower. And right now, it's according to this, the data, it's reporting fine. So the only other option available is that this customer, I'm going to delete the codes and see if it'll charge. If the battery will charge with the codes deleted, then the hybrid power control module 2 will have to get reprogrammed to the latest software. But it's not a guarantee that's going to fix it. If it gets reprogrammed and the codes still come back, then that just means that the hybrid battery is going to have to get replaced. But let's go ahead and delete the codes and see what we can do. So let's back out of here. Okay, trouble codes. Diagnostic DTC. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and erase the codes. Actually, cancel that. Before we erase the codes, I want to look at freeze frame data. Alright, so this is the freeze frame data. So I want to see is what it recorded as far as the resistance on the battery pack. Hybrid EV battery pack resistance, 254 kilo ohms. Energize. Battery charging system not okay, which is expected from that code. Isolation resistance test, 225 kilo ohms. And minimum is supposed to be 275. Okay, so let's go ahead, remove that. We're going to erase the codes. Okay. Read codes. Okay. So I just found out that the customer does not have the charging cable with him at the moment. So I'm going to have him attempt to charge the vehicle. If the battery starts taking the charge, then that's what I'm going to recommend, that the hybrid powertrain control module 2 be reprogrammed. And if the codes come back, then the customer's not going to have another option but either replace the hybrid battery or just keep deleting the codes. As long as it charges, just keep deleting the codes and just charge the battery. So that pretty much concludes this diagnostic. I'm going to advise the customer what I found and my recommendations. Thank you for joining me. If this helped you out, by all means give it a thumbs up, and that way this can go out into a cyberspace highway and hopefully it'll help somebody else as well. Like, comment, subscribe. Have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Till then, you guys have a good one. Bye.